Hello and a very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host Chongtham Amrita. And in this episode today we bring you the topic possibility of a midterm poll or midterm elections depending on what the PR government decides. Shri N. Biren Singh had resigned on the 9th of February, with just a day before the scheduled State Assembly session on February 10, which was supposed to be held the next day, 2025. His 11th hour resignation has set off a chain reaction of political upheaval, including the imposition of the president's rule, even though with a suspended animation, and also a constitutional crisis due to the violation of Article 174, Clause 1 of the Constitution, which is the 6-month rule. With now no assembly session held within 6 months, now there is also a legal basis to challenge the validity of the current legislature itself. This raises a very critical question. Should the current assembly be dissolved and fresh elections held? The report suggests that the BJP central leadership is reluctant to install a new government, instead choosing to pin the blame on the failure of its state MLAs to agree on a consensus leader. Even if they do finally manage to project a leader, the constitutional crisis that have been created will remain a major legal hurdle, and this will continue to challenge the validity of the legislature every single time. Because the matter should be taken to the Supreme Court, because it should be demanded that the dissolution of the assembly is pertinent. Now, given this political deadlock, the likelihood of a midterm election in Manipur is now higher than ever, because the reason is that there is no consensus on a leader, even though BJP legislators are now scrambling everywhere and announcing that there may be a consensus to form a government. They continue to meet with the BJP state president. They continue to meet among themselves, but still there is no consensus as of now. And also considering how the state of political status is currently in the state of Manipur, probably the dissolution of assembly will be the next political change or a political development. So tonight we will debate the pros and cons of dissolving the state assembly, and also if there is a possibility of a midterm elections as well. But before that, let us now take a moment to welcome our expert panelists for tonight. Let us introduce our first speaker for tonight is Oja and Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you.
Our second panelist for tonight is Oja Hijam Chandrakumar, Advocate. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita, for having me once more
in
the ELITETV.
And our third speaker for tonight is Oja Shanta Nahakpam, Secretary General for UCM. Oja, also welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you so much. A very good evening.
Okay, now let's start with the debate right away. I'll start with Oja and Satyajeet. First of all, Oja, the writing on the wall is very clear that the PR is now here to stay, with the governor moving into the old secretariat, forming his offices with his staffs. We know that he is now determined to stay here and do the works for a longer period of time than expected. Now the question is, BJP MLAs, even reported in today's newspapers, a lot of the BJP MLAs are still scrambling here and there, helter-skelter, trying to announce that they are still trying to form a government, trying to meet because of the reason behind being that they are still trying to form a government, all that. The question is that Dr. Sambit Patra was here for a 2-day visit, meeting with every single BJP MLAs, and yet they have failed to form a government or even name a representative or a leadership or a CM name as well. But since that ship has sailed, what is the BJP MLAs doing right now? Do you think that this this BJP MLAs running here about scrambling here and there, this is because they still have a hope of forming a government? And why is this sudden political upheaval between all of the BJP MLAs? Oja, Satyajeet, what do you think about this?
Amrita, at the very outset, I would say that the people are very confused about the about the things which are happening within the BJP. In the beginning of the crisis, they were almost divided because some were demanding some sort of demands which were not acceptable to the larger people, to the indigenous people, to the aborigines of this state. And now there is a recent development. The recent development is that the MLAs, even from these very areas, they are not able to unite. They are not able to, to hold even a meeting. You must have seen it yesterday. They call a meeting of all the legislators at Pasoi. Today they had to postpone it. They had to almost cancel it. So I think, first of all, the BJP party, people are confused on how it is functioning, how the leadership is functioning, because it seems to be confused. It seems to be divided when we look from outside, even though they claim that they are united and they are working for the state. That is a pertinent question to ask them if they are still united or are they still working for the people of Manipur. And the other issue is the BJP seems to be confused because the central high command, because we have a very sort of dictatorial sort of culture in India where the central takes all the decisions. This is very unfortunate, whether it is the Congress party or the BJP or any political party. We do not, in India, we do not have a normal process of electing a leader. They normally say that the center will take all the decisions. So New Delhi seems to be confused also, because if you look at the way how the New Delhi, in New Delhi they chose the chief minister, the decision was taken by the parliamentary board of the BJP. They appointed two very senior leaders, and they were appointed as observers, and they were given powers to appoint a new chief minister. It was the decade, it was a mandate, and they were given a deadline. And that is how they deal with in Delhi. But whereas it came in the situation of Manipur, they didn't appoint any political observer. And number two is the person who came here, as you said, Mr. Sambit Patra, his mandate and why he came here was not clear to the people of Manipur. Whether he came to just to speak to the MLAs or just to have a tour of Manipur, we have no clue, because there's a difference on how the political parties work now. Earlier, there was a train of the political parties giving information to the media on their own, on a daily basis. If you look at the previous all the crisis, I still remember the last president's rule was in 2001, when we had the unfortunate June 18 incident. At that time, Mr. Bet Marwa was the governor of Manipur. He was a former bureaucrat. He was a former IPS officer. He had served in Aizawl also. And while he was serving as the governor, he used to interact with all the media persons on a regular basis, and he used to inform to the media that what the government is doing is this and that. And it was accountable also, and it used to give information. But the problem now is, now the media is running after them. You must have seen how the media is running after the BJP leaders just to give us some information so that we can transmit it to the masses. That is other issue which the people are facing, which the people are not happy also. And the one thing which I want to point out is that when Mr. Balla, the former Union Home Secretary, he is among two Union Home Secretary who served for a very long time. His term was extended almost 4 terms. And when he came as the governor, I think the center had already taken the decision, because he's a former Home Secretary. He must be knowing about everything about Manipur. But the problem is, whatever he is doing is some are good, some are bad. We have to analyze it, because this is a democratic nation, and we have to understand that. For instance, he announced that within 7 days, all the arms should be let down. And the deadline ends day after tomorrow on Wednesday, because the order was issued last Thursday. And if seven days means on Wednesday itself, that's just 2 days away. But the problem is, the next day they started launching operations. So it gets a very confused message, because it was the first major decision of the governor. And the very next day, people, some civil societies, the people started saying that they had that the terms had been violated. I mean, his assurance had been violated, and his words were not kept by the security personnel. So people started not. People will not believe whatever he say in the near future. I think that is a very wrong step. He should clarify it. And the new governor has yet to meet the media, even though he meets representatives at Raj Bhavan also. But he has yet to inform to the people what are the programs and policies the government is doing for Manipur and what are the roadmap. But the other good thing is the roads are clear, that is acceptable, that is okay. But the whole issue is the government of India is dealing Manipur from a security perspective. We have more than 40 departments, about 50 major and minor departments. All needs to be tackled. For example, we have a board exam, we have a road problem, we have agricultural problem. We have there are so many issues, and that cannot be dealt with by a single person. And I think it is time that the government appoints a few advisors who can assist him, and the advisors should be people who know Manipur, people of Manipur who love Manipur. Because when a governor acts, when a chief executive officer, when the chief minister or the head of state acts, they should convey the message that they are dealing with people with love and care, with affection, because it has to be not just giving a directive and giving punishment or threatening people, because this is a democratic country and time has changed drastically. And the other issue is those who are dealing with Manipur crisis, they are mostly senior citizens. And those affected people, they are very, very young children. They are mostly covered under the Juvenile Justice Act, because about 6 persons, which 6 juveniles were arrested in Kaching immediately the next day after the government announced. It was unfortunate because there is a procedure for dealing with children, and we cannot just simply, legitimize any action of the government by saying that they were in a cave or in a house. At least we have to remember that they are humans, they are future generations. So the government should understand that they are dealing with the future generation of this state. We are very, we are not sure about what the government is planning for the next 5 to 10 years, or in say for the next 1 year. But the other problem, which about coming to PR2, the question you raised is, if the government of India does not suspend, does not revive the previous government before March 10, because we have a parliament session on March 10. It will resume on March 10. Then there is another possibility of extending the PR for another 2 months, because it is mandatory for the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to present a bill and pass it in the parliament. It has to be done. It has to be executed. And if the government does that, then we are not sure about what the center thinks. But the dilemma which the people of Manipur are living is, we do not know what the Central High Command is doing. We do not know what the Prime Minister is thinking. We do not know what the Home Minister is thinking. That is the dilemma which the people of Manipur are facing. And the other dilemma is, even the Prime Minister, he hasn't come down over here, even though we have lost so many lives, even though so many people have been killed, even though we have seen so much sufferings of the people. Even the Prime Minister has no time to come over here, even though he finds time to visit foreign countries to meet all the leaders. That is another issue which the history will analyze, and history will critically analyze why the Prime Minister has not visited so far, even though there is President's rule now. We can say that this is a direct rule of the President, and the governor is just one of his advisors who is holding the charge in Manipur. But the governor is doing in the name of the President. So we hope that the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, will come out about a real roadmap of Manipur, and whatever they are doing, they will deal with a human policy by dealing with the masses as though they are citizens of this country, not as some youth who needs to be beaten up for whatever they are doing. And the other message which I want to give in conclusion is, the government of India should also understand that these youths, they were compelled to take up to defend themselves because they were attacked. And if you interact, I have interacted with many of them, and most of them, they say that they don't have any houses now. They don't have any future now. And how can you ask a person who has no future to to suddenly come to terms as directed by the government. The government should give them a hope. The government should give them a new future. Government should give them dividends. The government should give them a future so that they can start learning or they can start going to colleges. There has to be some policy. Giving some directive is not enough. Thank you.
Very good points, Satyajeet. Please excuse me just for a moment. Especially
Not audible.
when Oja Satyajeet highlighted that the BJP MLAs are still very much divided and that they are still waiting on the Central High Command to make decisions for them. On that note, I would like to take that point to Hijam Chandrakumar that recently a few of the BJP MLAs have also publicly stated saying that they will approve or agree to anyone that the Central High Command approves of as the Chief Minister, as if saying that they are waiting on the Central High Command to pick anyone from all the 60 MLAs, and then they will just bank behind them and then still agree that yes, we agree with you, and all the yes sir kind of a from them. So Judge Chandrakumar, the thing is that first of all, why give so much power to the Central High Command, as Oja Satyajeet also highlighted that it is very unfortunate, as Oja Satyajeet had said. And also, do you think that even if the Central High Command picks any MLA, let's just say, for example, any close-eyed of the ex-Chief Minister, Sri N. Biren, for example, respected MLA R.K. Imo or respected MLA of Chandel AC Srimati, all these, if the Central High Command picks any one of them, will the BJP MLAs also agree to them? Because once they said that they will agree to anyone that the Central High Command picks, what if the Central High Command picks someone from the Kuki community? Will they still agree to that? Or there is a very big if, but do you think that there is any possibility of the Central High Command picking a leader from among this group of people, or this group of MLAs, or a possibility of a dissolution and fresh elections is higher? What are your thoughts, Oja Chandrakumar?
Amrita, it is not all about saying yes. It is also about saying no. In our state, when it comes to public welfare, they succumb to the center's pressure. When it comes to political mileage or personal gain, they may say no. So I would open with the famous quote that Caesar's wife must be above suspicion, which essentially means people in power, in the position of power, must be responsible and in accordance with norms and within certain parameter, and they should not do any or commit any wrong or any indulging in any wrongdoings, which is not a case in our state. History has already witnessed. And in our state, in the state of Manipur, it is not a secret anymore that the infighting, the current infighting among the BJP legislators is the genesis, is the very genesis of this current political crisis, which led to the imposition of president rule, and the animation of the state assembly is very much a part of that presidential rule. And coming to the point, that straight to your point, Amrita, had the statement made by some BJP MLA in its entirety is taken to be true and worth consideration, then they would accept any leaders written by the central leadership. then the talks of several camps of various CM, what should I say, CM posts, the post of CM hopeful, the hopeful of CM post, I would say, rather say, would not be round the corner. And though they vaguely denied so far they have denied having camping differently for different persons. And I really do not believe that the heavyweights or veterans, even within the BJP legislatures, will be falling in line of the central leadership if they choose one among the proxies of the ex-Chief Minister Biren Singh. Post his departure. If rumors are to be believed, then the current speaker, Mr. Satyajeet, also has a large chunk of supporters within the BJP legislature, though not majority. So, as one of my co-panelists, Satyajeet, has also pertinently mentioned that a meeting was called at the residence of the present MLA, at the residence of Mr. Sapam Kunjal Kishore, MLA Pasoi SC, and it is supposedly to be held today, but it was postponed for the rest, for a reason best known to them, but citing different reasons. So, and looking at the past conduct of the politician in the state, one must not be very surprised if they jump ship from one party to another party, leave aside sticking to the party's whip or diktat or the wish of the high command if any situation favors them personally, not publicly. So this is my take on your first thing, Amrita.
Yes, indeed. I think, Oja, you also do agree that there is still much division within the BJP MLAs as well. And as of now, I think we can all agree that a consensus forming leadership will be very hard to come by at this juncture. But moving on with this debate, I'd like to move on to Oja Shanta for this point that regarding the PR, as per the Constitution, it can be extended for every 6 months, and then it may be even. Do you think that this PR will be extended for another 6 months, or even until the 2027 elections? Even though our assembly session elections is scheduled for 2027, do you think that the 2 year before that will be gone under just PR? Because if as per what Oja Satyajeet has said, and as per what Hijam Chandrakumar has said, that if there is no consensus between them and the suspended animation, if it lasts for only 2 or 3 months, then naturally there will be a dissolution of the assembly, and then fresh elections will be had. And also, Oja Shanta, we all know that because of the imposition of PR, two cookie ministers have already been have already lost their seat. Do you think that by dissolution of the assembly, the 10 cookie MLAs will also be losing their seat, and hence by holding fresh elections, it will be helping in safeguarding Manipur's integrity, but in context with whatever is happening in Manipur right now? Oja Shanta, what's your take on that?
See, we have to slightly go back towards May 2023 to understand what BJP is doing and what our politicians are doing, because to me it seems more of BJP trying to save its face rather than saving Manipur, because if had they wanted to remove N. Biren Singh and could take control of, had the central government believed that the situation can be diffused or it can be controlled, if they had taken the power in their hands, then they could have done it a little more earlier by putting suspended animation. Like N. Biren Singh had tried twice to once when the drama of huge drama of resignation happened in front of the CM bungalow. Then the second time when he went to the governor's house and he submitted a 7-point memorandum where he demanded few points. So these are the two areas where the central government could have taken, this step to keep control of power within their hands. But since they have not done it, now I think BJP has been the central government, not particularly the central government, but the BJP political party is now stuck between between two indigenous two parties of politicians where they might be it is just a thought that they might be thinking if they keep these politicians afloat. For example, if they keep them afloat, then and with power, then they might not be able to diffuse the present situation in Manipur, because it needs a very high level power control where you can ask both the parties to surrender their arms. Then they can ask both the parties to CSOs to work together. They can force them. But as far as the upcoming election and the position of PR or the suspended animation is concerned, I strongly believe that BJP will not, if they have to fight election in such condition. I don't think that none of the MLAs at present, BJP MLAs at present, many of them might fail to win elections in the upcoming 2026 or 2027, because we have the people of Manipur have already seen that they are not able to perform as per the will of the people, be it the MLAs from Kangpokpi, Chochanpur, or anywhere, and as well as the MLAs belonging to Nagas, as well as the Meteis. All the MLAs have failed in performing their duty to bring peace to the state and diffuse the present situation. Now the center is already trying to prove that your MLAs are worthless by taking charge through the governor, and the governor asking asking so many unreliable and non kind of thing which we will not be able to do it immediately, because see, asking the village volunteers to deposit their arms means you have to make a scenario where people will gain confidence in the present, not the present government, but the present deployed troops of the central forces. These troops has been there for last 20 months. We have seen a lot of firing going on, lot of counter firing going on. Then attacks on villages. Jiribam incident was one core incident where you could not control. How did they came down to that particular Bear Brokra? And so many questions arise. Apart from that, the recent submission of NIA court, which says that the drones were being supplied from Haryana and Uttar Pradesh area.
Yes.
So those people, the army and the top brass of the command forces have been ignoring all these things. So how do we as a people trust the central government to deposit our arms? This is also a big question. Secondly, since we are now governed by the governor, if we look at the political scenario, our politicians, it is also a very big question why our politicians are still holding their posts, when they cannot form a government, or are they not allowed to form a government even though they have a majority, they are having a mandate? Is the center stopping them to form a government? Every time when the media goes to them, all of them have been saying that we are going to accept one person which is being appointed by the center. So shall we as a people, are we ready to believe that the same group of politicians who are elected, whom we have elected, who have governed us since last 20 months, can form a new government, and will they be able to exercise the power to bring peace in the state, to bring development in the state? I really doubt it. Okay. Me as a citizen of the country, I really doubt it. I have 101% doubt that none of the politicians at present from the BJP side are capable to govern the state, because they are not able to stay intact. They are not able to have a one-to-one understanding. While we as a people, we were fighting with the terrorists, we are fighting to, we are struggling to bring the truth out. Fortunately, NIA has brought out some truth. But our politicians, what were they doing? They were simply, some of them were in Delhi, never to be seen in Imphal again. Some of them were like into a power struggle. Some of them were like, like doing their own strategy. They have been, even the chief minister, he even announced, many times he has announced a war room, like, the strategy of the state government taken things into a personal manner. So to me, I think center is stopping them to, in my opinion, central government is stopping them to make a government, because I strongly believe that because of the present situation and the last 20 months of experience of these politicians, maybe Amit Shah and Narendra Modi might have lost trust on them, and they want to, clean up so many things. Maybe they might bring fresh politicians who may join BJP in near future. I really doubt this, because I'm not able to understand why the politicians are not able to, form a government, even though they are having majority, and the number are, already more than the what you said, anti-defection law. They can even form a new political party, and they can ask for ask the governor. They can go and prove the majority in the floor of the house. So it is actually, we are in a dilemma that what does the center wants, and what are we trying to do as a citizen, and what our politicians are up to. It is going to be a very disastrous step in near future. I would like to conclude my first round with these points.
Very interesting points, and also very insightful, Oda Shanta. I'd like to take that points to Oda Satyajeet for the next round. That from your words, I think it's very evident that many of the sitting MLAs, if they do face a midterm poll at this juncture, then they really don't have a chance of winning, because considering the popular government that they enjoyed before the PR, they could not solve the Manipur crisis at all. As Oda Shanta has said, half of them were nowhere to be seen in Imphal. They were always at the background. They were always just doing mudslinging with one another, strategizing their own party, whatever. Now, the Satyajeet, now the PR has arrived and it is here to stay. Do you think that if there is a midterm poll, that these BJP MLAs, if they run for elections once again under the BJP flag, that they have any chance of winning? Or do you think that they have any chance of winning if they switch to a regional or a newly flouted party? Or do you think that the people really don't want to see them return back to office again? So ultimately, the PR has to be lifted. There needs to be a popularly a people mandate in the legislature ultimately. So Oda Satyajeet, what do you think about the statement that Oda Shanta has just said? Do you want to respond to that?
Amrita, I would first say that the center, that is the BJP leadership in New Delhi, they should understand that the way the leaders are dealing with the state leaders, it is looked very carefully by the people of Manipur. And they also understand that the people of Manipur, they are looking at how the central leaders are treating our leaders. They were very unhappy when our leaders were summoned to Delhi frequently. They were very unhappy when they said Article 355 was imposed or not. We are not very sure, but we have contradictory reports about it. So the government, the people of Manipur watches very carefully how the center is dealing with our leaders. Even if some of them, even though we say the word, if they do not qualify to be the members which they are holding, the post they are holding, at least the center has to understand that they represent the people of Manipur. That is one issue. And the other issue is our leaders, that is in Manipur, first of all, they seem to be aware of what exactly they are doing, as Shanta very clearly stated. They should know that Manipur is in crisis. Whatever they do, that is watched by the people of Manipur very carefully. And the third issue is, if election is held, as you asked, if election is held, there is a strong possibility of many of the MLAs not winning in the election, in the next election. That is because if you watch the the recent Lok Sabha elections, Congress won both the elections. But in spite of the fact that the BJP is controlling, it has the most 37 MLAs. And it is very rare in Manipur history because most of the MPs, since the first election in the 50s till recently, only the MPs they win if there is it is supported by the political party in Manipur. So an opposition winning an MP election is very, very rare. Because if you look at the previous trend, the last election which the opposition was one was in 1979 when Ngawang Mohendra won the election after the emergency. So that is very peculiar, and the center must be watching what exactly happened in Manipur also. And the other issue is BJP knows how to win elections. BJP calculates on how they can win elections. They prepare a lot. They do lots of homework. They do, but the problem is they do not put much effort on proper governance, administration, even though they put very much effort on how to win elections. And that is one issue that they should understand. And the other problem which our MLAs are facing as they may form a political party. There is little possibility about that because if they want to defect after as per the 91st Amendment, 2/3 of them have to move to the new party. And in that also, the political party can also play a major role by declaring some of them as and some of them as non-members. So we have a long history of anti-defection. We have a long history of people jumping from one political party to another. And the anti-defection bill was formed exactly to stop them from doing that. So, and the other issue is, if you look at how the center deals with small states. The small states, even if you look at Nagaland, even though it is not BJP exactly, if you look at Mizoram also, they are compelled to support the center because even though now fund allocation is done on a routine basis, but dependence on center is very important for existence of the small states, and we do not have the power to fight with the central leaders, just like as Tamil Nadu or Bengal. If you look at Mamata Banerjee, she fought with the governor, she fought with the union government. That kind of guts we small states don't have, and that also some people deny because at a particular point of time, our chief minister had refused to do what the prime minister had personally told him. Because if you remember in 2004, when Thangzam Manorama allegedly died after being raped and killed by personnel of 17 Assam Rifles, at that time the prime minister himself called up our chief minister and told him not to lift armed forces. In spite of that, giving ground recognition, giving the pressure from parties, the day chief minister had a press conference inside the CM secretary and announced that Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been lifted from 7 assembly constituencies of Manipur. That is exactly what that is what exactly we want for our leaders to act in this situation. And if you look at the reality of what would happen if they contest, I think the BJP must be understanding. BJP must be knowing that they have a very, very grim, very bleak chances of winning in the next election. And if you look at the practical level also, they still have 2 years now. That is in 2027, and they will not waste the 2 years just for the sake of election. They will positively want to hold for another 2 years. There's a strong possibility of imposing PR for a certain period. After stabilizing the matter, there's a possibility of asking the popular government to come in. That is just a theory. That is just my personal opinion. What exactly the center does, that we really don't know. But we hope, let us hope that the the center should forget about elections. The center should forget about political leaders, political parties. I think the time has come for the center to deal us as citizens of this country, as people. They should treat us as people. They should understand that we also breathe, eat like other people as in other big states. And so they should start respecting us. And if they start respecting and caring for us, then the administration will also start caring and looking after our kids and children. I think the time has come for all of us to unite and fight for a united Manipur so that the divisive forces can be expelled from Manipur. Thank you, Amrita.
Very, very beautiful point, Satyajeet. I'll come back to you again in the next round if time permits. Now, on that note, I'd like to take that point that you just mentioned regarding how the BJP knows how to win elections, but they know very little about governance or administration. And in this context, about how to solve the Manipur crisis as well. So BJP clearly has no clue. Maybe they do know only the one way, that is to impose PR and then to solve it in the way they only know how, and then maybe after PR or maybe during PR hold midterm polls and then just win elections once again by just whitewashing the public of, by saying that they have recovered arms, they have tried to bridge the divide between the communities, and well, some sort of things that we expect the central leaderships will say, but we will have to wait and watch on that. Now, moving on to Hijam Chandrakumar, as we have just been discussing that if there is a midterm assembly polls, that is there any chance of the BJP MLAs winning their seat once again, and if the people will have the confidence to put them in office once again? That is the question. Now, Oja Shanta has previously stated that BJP is not on a Manipur saving mode, that BJP is on a face saving mode, and he also highlighted several instances where the BJP could have already imposed the suspended animation during those two instances, which they didn't, and the way that they have handled it now is almost too little too late kind of a situation. So just Chandrakumar, to you, my question is that, do you think that if there is a regional party, once again, if there is a regional party in Manipur, let's say that, because we all know that the BJP, if they fight under the BJP flag, there is a high growing dissent from the people, that they really don't want the BJP come back again. There is this everywhere in social media, in all corners, in every laikai, everywhere. So do you think, if there is a midterm poll, do you expect a regional party will emerge and they will be able to win the confidence of the people and put the trust back in the democratic process and also the governance once again? Hijam Chandrakumar, what are your thoughts?
Amrita, sorry. In 90s, we had Manipur People's Party governing the state under the ministership of late Sri R.K. Ramdrishana. And later, there was a time when Manipur State Congress Party, led by Sri late W. Wahengbam Nipamacha Singh, governed the state. They are regional parties, and in the first term of Mr. Ukram Ivovi, the second largest party in the state, who won the election, it was a federal party led by Professor Gamumai Kamay and Dr. L. Chandramani. So these are all regional parties. So what I'm trying to persuade you is this, that this is not the first time that the state felt the need of a very strong regional party. Yes, this time the feeling and the desire for such regional party is very much intense than before. But with a strong party like BJP at the center, which is often accused of breaking the small parties or even bigger parties like NCP or Shiv Sena in Maharashtra into two fractions. So for a small state like ours, which is largely depending on the center, even for the salary, with no sustainable or substantial income or revenue source, or its management, the rise of a formidable regional party is very unlikely at the present circumstances, though not impossible. I'm not ruling out the possibility, but it is very much unlikely. And I'm afraid to say this, that if a regional party in the state is allowed to contest in the midterm, if the midterm poll is held, then I'm very much afraid that it would be a B team of BJP, a very sponsored party of BJP, because all is not within the party, and the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, is undoubtedly is becoming so much unpopular in the state. That is quite reflected in the recently held general elections for the Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency and the Outer Manipur Parliamentary Constituency, in which both the Congress candidate won with record margin, though the power is vested with the BJP, with the party in the center, with 32 formidable seats of MLAs, and with its ally numbering to a total tally of 55 against the 5 odd Congress MLAs, though but BJP was badly trounced by the Congress candidates. So it is in that note, the BJP, the current BJP regime in the state is very much unpopular. So I'm really afraid to say that if this regional party is allowed to function properly, then it would perhaps a very much a part B team of BJP.
Okay, interesting point, Hijam Chandrakumar, that if there were any regional parties, that it will be a part B parties of the BJP, because after all, I think we know how the trend is in Manipur elections. Everybody jumps ship, and then they just, well, we all know what happens after that. There's a lot of cases against that as well. Now, moving on with this debate, I'd like to move on to Hijam Shanta. As we have heard from Hijam Satyajeet and Hijam Chandrakumar regarding the issue of a regional party being very weak in the state. So as Hijam Chandrakumar said, that if there is any regional party, it will be another phase of the BJP. And as we all know from the Lok Sabha elections last year, that the People's Mandate have clearly said that they want the Congress and not the BJP. And people have also debated that it was not the vote for the Congress, but it was a vote against the BJP, considering the context of the situation of the Manipur crisis that we are all in. Now, Hijam Shanta, my question to you that I'd like to know, it may be very generic, that why is it that the Manipur, unlike other Northeast states, because regional parties can thrive in Mizoram, in Meghalaya, in Punjab, and even in Tamil Nadu, but why is a regional party very hard to survive in Manipur? Is it because of lack of leadership? Because we know that there have been great leaders in Manipur from the regional parties in the past, as Hijam Satyajeet and Hijam Chandrakumar has also clearly mentioned. What is it about Manipur that regional parties cannot survive? They just die after one term or second or two terms after one election. What is it, do you think?
I don't think it is about Manipur. It is basically about the Meiteis.
Okay.
You see, if you look at the KPI,
if
you look at KPI and the NPF, both of them are backed by some, like some armed group. Most probably in the case of cookies, whatever political party they form, they are being backed by some armed group, Su group or whatever. Now, in the case of NPF also, it is being backed by some organization. But in the case of Manipur, we are having thousands of organizations, and we are not able to, we do not even, if we form a political party, we want to remain abstain from, any armed group, because the difference between the armed groups of cookies for the Nagas and the Meiteis there is a huge, sea of difference. There's an ocean of difference, you can say, because we as a politician, our politicians are not backed by any of the armed group. They remain absolutely neutral from any arm. But whereas if you look at the cookie groups, the KPI, for instance, they are being backed properly by an armed group. So the forming a political party, actually you need to have some finance, you need to have cooperation, you need to have gun power, money power, so many things. Now in the case of MPP or federal party or any other political party, you basically make a landing space in while going for election. Later on you succumb to the aggression or the sanction of center, where you are not being able to develop your state. You don't have any proper, you are not having a visionary idea how you want to develop your state, how you want to develop your economy, how you are going to handle the long ongoing crisis of this in Yaol kind of crisis, armed groups, how you're going to handle it. So many things come up when you talk of governing Manipur with a regional political party. But in my opinion, we should at least give a try again. Because why I'm saying this? Because we are already frustrated. We are already poor. You cannot become rich by, lending with a huge national political party. Now you look at BJP, they have already succumbed us under their policy of Northeast India, where they are keeping on talking of, bringing the Northeast into limelight, like Bangkok, Vietnam, Hanoi, then Laos, Cambodia. They are saying that we are going to make you the gateway of Southeast Asia, but we are not even able to pass Moreh. Not even a single person is able to pass Moreh since the border town Moreh since last 20 months, and they do not have a plan. They don't have a plan how they are going to bring us up. We are just struggling between the idea of center and our political ideology of survival. More than this, I would like to mention this with an iron word, that our politicians, actually they lack, the love of their nation, and a vision where they want to bring up our state to the level of the mainland Indian states. Whether you talk about economy, development, roads, airways, trading, whatever, schools, they are not able to bring up, because they are just simply implementing the strategy and political plan of the central government. Once you have a regional political party, we can, even if we are poor, even if we eat 1 meal a day, we are still eating 1 meal a day. Thousands of people in Manipur are eating 1 meal a day. They are not getting a job. They are driving on broken roads. When there is rain, your homes are being filled with water. You're having power cut every day. Your children are not able to fly to give an exam. You see the case of Central Agriculture University exam, the Air Alliance flight, which was cancelled. How many of our students' lives were ruined? You are not able to, control your own life. If you're not able to control your own life, why do you join a national political party which do not even understand an iota about how Manipur survived long 2,500 to 3,000 years, how our kings had governed, and how we live with harmony among different tribes? After we join the Indian Constitution, after we merge into India, we are not even allowed to follow our own ideology. We are not able to form a political party where we can dream of a state which is competing with New Delhi, which is competing with Gujarat. But our politicians are simply joining national political parties without a vision, and they keep flow with the vision of those national political parties. And later on, they try to convince our people that yes, BJP policy is this, Congress policy is this, CPI policy is this. So are we going to keep going on with all these policies for another 100 years? If we are supposed to go like that, then I think it's better to fight for a regional idea where our indigenous 34 tribes can join hands and form a regional political party for the Manipuri nation, where we can work together. Whether we eat 1 meal a day, whether we are not able to go out of Moreh, whether we are not able to drive to Dimapur, whether we are not being given, good schooling, that is our duty to find out ways If you are a politician, you have to find out ways, and you need to have will. You cannot just simply sit and say that, yes, we are waiting for center to decide who is going to be our leader. You are at least getting a salary. Earlier, we used to say that government employees are earning, they are getting salaries without doing a job. But at this moment, politicians are eating public money. Politicians are actually eating public money just by showing off that we are still trying to find a leader amongst us. If you're not able to find a leader amongst you, then you should resign. You're happy to resign. Why don't you resign? That's what I'm thinking. Why don't they resign? Why don't they resign? Why are they still waiting for an order from the central government to appoint a leader? Do they have a vision? Does this 60 MLAs, out of these 33 MLAs, do they have a vision? I don't think they will be even able to debate with any of the panelists, or any of the anchor in Manipur regarding the development plan of 5 years or 10 years. I don't think so, because they are still working on the vision of a central political party without thinking what do they have to eat at their home. Only they are the ones who are getting rich. The people are not even getting, chance to fight with the mainland society, chance to develop. Every home is getting poor. So in such a condition, if we form a regional political party and the center doesn't allocate funds for us, if the center doesn't give a development plan, even then also we'll stay with the same mode. We cannot let our life to be handled with a remote control from New Delhi. We need to decide our life by our own rules and regulations. This is what I want to conclude with.
Indeed, that is, I think, I agree with that, Oja Shanta, as well. I think that is what needs to be instilled in the minds and hearts of our elected representatives, because that is what we expect of them at the very least, because considering the crisis that Manipur is in, especially when it comes to the students, the youths, they are in a state of such a trauma where it will take years to recover from. A lot of the young students are now out in the fringe areas holding arms and trying to guard their villages. They have already sacrificed their studies, their well-being, their mental health, all of that, even their future. Because I would have liked to take up just one more question, which is open to all our speakers today. This is not to anyone in particular. That do you think that the present PR administration, aside from their focus on the security measures and the security steps that they've taken up, do you think that this present administration should also take a little bit of a focus on the social issues, on the mental health issues, on the unemployment issues, on the rising inflation rate, on the economic issues of the state? So this question is open to the floor. Oja Satyajeet, Oja Chandrakumar, Oja Shanta, what do you think? Do you expect this present PR administration to take up any of such tasks in their agenda in the coming months?
Amrita, I think first of all, the first priority of the government must be security, because we have been talking about a Manipur issue for the last about almost two years now. In May it will be 2 years. We still have 3 months more time. I think the first priority will be security. Excuse me. And the government must be thinking that if there is security, if there is normalcy, if normalcy comes back, everything will come back to normalcy.
Right.
That is one issue. But the other issue is it may take some time for normalcy to come. Because if you look at all the crises, even though it is different, even if you look at the Balkan crisis, if you look at the Haiti problem, if you look at the all the issues in Rwanda, if you look at the ethnic classes in Indonesia, it lasts for, say, some 10 years, maybe say 20 years. If you look at the Belgium crisis, it lasts very, very long. So the government of India, especially the governor, should understand, should realize that bringing normalcy will take time, but people need to eat food. The GDP is quite low. The inflation is at the highest in Manipur. The per capita income is lowest in Manipur. I think it is less than 7,500, whereas I forgot the exact figure. And so everything is in serious problem. And the other is in the issue of the youth. Educational institutes, they are not holding examinations properly. 3 years courses, 4-year courses, they are taking longer. Everything has to be brought to a normal course. And that is a very dedicated team. And so the government should ask some advisors, should ask experts to come, especially those who know the situation on ground to help it. Because if you look at the files coming to the governor, there are about 40 departments. For major departments, about 10 to 30 files are coming daily. So about, say, if you say about 100 to 200 files are coming to the governor, just imagine the governor will not have time to look at all the files. And they are extremely important files related to purchasing of medicines, related to health, then about the sanctions of money for DM college. There are so many issues so I think even though it is preoccupied with the security aspect, it should also start thinking about other issues which you raised, so that people of Manipur, they can start breathing and starting a normal life. Thank you, Amrita.
Very beautiful point, Oja Satyajeet. I think given the time constraint, we will have to wrap up at this moment. But just to summarize of what we discussed on the topic of a possibility of a midterm poll in Manipur, given the legal crisis that we are in, given the constitutional crisis, and also the BJP's internal deadlock and the growing public dissatisfaction towards the government and losing confidence towards its representatives, why is the central government still postponing the inevitable? Because ultimately there needs to be a dissolution of the assembly, there needs to be a fresh election held, and there needs to be a popular government that needs to be reinstated back in the government, all the while with the expectation that this PR or either the next elected government will be able to solve the current crisis, bringing back normalcy in the state and also make the state prosper once again. And and also one other point that our panelists have also put out, that a lot of the MLAs have already compromised a lot of regional interests. So whoever is elected next really needs to put the regional interests at the top, and then that is only the basic necessity that the people expect of them. On that note, I would like to end today's program. I want to thank our speakers for joining us once again, Oja and Satyajeet, Oja Hijam Chandrakumar, and Oja Shanta Nahakpam. Thank you all once again for sharing us your thoughts and insights. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And I would also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. Tonight, we will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, keep watching ELITETV. This is Amrita signing off. Have a good night.